We're almost at the end of our woodland journey, but there's one last thing I want to do, and it should be a real treat.
What I'm building is a spit so that I can spit roast a wild boar. Even today in the summer all throughout Britain you can find pig roasts, hog roasts. I think it's one of those timeless recipes that has endured for thousands of years, and it's going to be really entertaining spit roasting a boar today, a real feast.
The wild boar was a common woodland animal and would have been a celebrated kill by the hunter-gatherer. This is just a young boar, but a large adult boar could weigh more than a red deer and would have provided a huge amount of meat. One of my favourite things about roasting a boar is the crackling, which I'm going to prepare by adding salt and then basting with honey. And to do that I need a basting brush, which this piece of hazel should be ideal for. I've made a parallel log fire which throws out an amazing amount of heat, considering how much wood is actually burning.
And what I'm going to do now, just because I can, is I'm going to baste this meat with honey for the last half hour of cooking or so. Oh, yes indeed. Yeah, the problem, Gordon, is I usually get carried away munching into the odd bit of this while I'm doing the butchering.
Yes, I think it's impossible not to.
Oh, beautifully cooked.
Wow.
Well, obviously there's more meat here than Gordon and I could handle on our own, so I've invited some friends who've also helped us over the years in some of the projects to come and sample some of the delights of this boar. And apart from the sound of some of the crackling on the fire there in the background, the other thing I can hear is salivating off camera. Why don't you come and have some? If I give you something? Oh, yes.
Although time has moved on thousands of years and we live in a very different world, we still have many of the wild foods our ancestors did, though sadly we have lost much of their essential knowledge. In this series, we've only scratched the surface of the resources our ancestors would have made use of, but it's been a fascinating journey. It has also made me feel closer to understanding where we've come from, not just in an historical sense, but in a way which tells us more about ourselves, and perhaps ultimately where we are going.
You know, when I go to museums and I look at exhibits of our Stone Age past, you've always got these illustrations of the earnest hunter returning with the animal with a stern look on his face, and you forget the sense of community that came from those activities. That's how I like to think of the past. Perhaps on this very spot, 6,000 years ago, who knows, maybe a 13-year-old boy had shot his first wild boar with his uncle, and everybody was collected together to celebrate. That's what I like to think about. The sound of laughter, of happiness, of people thriving in our landscape. What do you think?